The Lord and the angels are coming back in chariots, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Kakwadash. Now, I know you've been watching videos the last couple of days, maybe the last couple of weeks, concerning UFOs, which are the chariots of the Most High, that the angels fly in, and the Lord can come down, or the angels can come down in the form of men, and they can also come down in UFOs, which the white man calls them UFOs. Anyway, the reason why I put this video together was because I was working Sunday night around about 7 o'clock, and I believe I had it on Bloomberg or one of those news stations. I believe it's Bloomberg or 880 rather, and I believe either Bloomberg or 880 News, they broadcast 60 Minutes at around 7 o'clock, and they'll give you like it's a news magazine. They'll give you like 5 stories, 6 stories inside of an hour, but they'll advertise the next story. They'll say, coming up, are UFOs real? And the government believes that the UFOs are real, and at one point in time they told pilots and so forth that if you see what you think a UFO is, if you see one, pretty much don't report it. Act like you don't see it. But there's been so many UFO sightings, or now they call them UAPs, which that acronym came from Britain. For as many years as the U.S. referred to the so-called UFOs as UFOs, the Brits referred to it as UAPs, which the acronym is Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon. So the U.S. adopted that acronym, UAPs, because the U.S. is nothing but a colony of Great Britain, of the UK, of the United Kingdom. That's why when there's news out of England, the Queen's hubby had died, it was all over United States news, because the citizens of the U.S. are really subjects under the crown. So that's why they, I believe that they use, instead of using the word UFOs, they use UAPs. Anyway, you see on the screen there, what I did was I typed in 60 Minutes UFOs, and a bunch of videos came up. Okay, it says UFOs and aliens, and this is from Breakfast Television. I believe they're from out of England. It says the BT gang discuss 60 Minute special on UFOs and aliens. Do you believe in them? Because I figured the 60 Minute And by the way, I believe that it was more than 10 minutes. Esau doesn't spend that much time on the subject of UFOs. So I figured the 60-minute part where they spoke about the UFOs, I'm figuring they're going to speak for about a minute or so. But they spent over 10 minutes. I believe it was like 12 minutes or more. And they pretty much covered everything. And their conclusion was or is that there are UFOs or UAPs out there, and there are more and more sightings of UAPs that they can't deny. They can't deny. And this is, when you go to Luke 21, Matthew 24, Mark 13, the scriptures speak about signs. And part of the signs are these UFOs, so-called UFOs. And they're intensifying. You see more of these ships, these beings, which we know to be the angels. Christians don't know that. Anybody that's in Christianity, you need to be in a padded cell with a straight jacket on, getting medicine every 3 hours. That Christianity is weak. Anybody that's part of Christianity, that shit is weak. Anyway, I keep a list of certain scriptures that I never really get the chance to go into. I got this one list, and I got at least 20 scriptures on the so-called UFOs, which I'm not going to go into, but I may pick out a few of them. But one scripture that comes to mind is Zechariah 5, which, as a matter of fact, I'll read it. This is how we know that the destruction of Esau is right around the corner, and that we're going to be delivered. And don't be surprised. When we speak at the camp, we see these chariots all the time. To the point where when a brother said, "Look, there's a chariot. Look at them chariots." I said, "I'll look real quick." I said, I don't need to see them chariots. My faith is already strong. I don't need no faith builder." They would start laughing. But the last time we saw chariots, well, one major time was when Vocab, ambushed us, rolled up on us. And as he was I remember he said he invited us out to eat pizza. "Hey, you want to come? We're going to eat pizza and talk and shit." And I said, "Thank you, but we're getting ready to close, blah, blah, blah." So they had left. And as soon as that crew, there was maybe 10 of them, 12 of them. As soon as they walked down the street, as soon as they turned the corner, one of the brothers had yelled out, the elder Yaikwab. He started, so we're like, what the hell is going on? And he's up on this stone wall, and if he fell, he would fall on like 50 feet. So he was just, I was like, what's wrong? What's wrong with this dude, man? He gonna kill himself, get his ass down. He was praising. So I believe he finally came down, and we were looking at the ships, and it was dark out there. It was dark. And you can see maybe 25 orbs, I would say, brightly lit, white metallic orbs that began to multiply. They went from, I would say, 25 to like 35, then 35 to like 40, then 40 to 50, then 50 to 60, and they just kept appearing out of nowhere in formation, and I would say like a cluster of ships, and then G-Man, G-Man, he rolled up, and he was witnessing the ships with us, and he was like, "What's that?" And we were saying that those are the chariots of the Most High. And he normally running his mouth. When he saw that, he shut his mouth. He didn't say much. And but it was the timing was something else, because, and Apostle Gabar could tell you, Apostle Rhyme Lob, and whoever was out there, Bishop Sakaran and Elder Yaikwab, and there were some other brothers out there, including, like I said, G-Man. And then the ships kept going, and they basically like kept going, and they disappeared in the sky. And they were moving slow enough where you can't make no mistake. Oh, I thought I saw. No. Then I would say maybe, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years later, which was maybe 6 months ago, we closing the camp, and then you hear the brothers howling, and there were chariots, the same type of chariots. They were orbs. They were metallic, glistening in the sun. It was daytime, and you couldn't see it as good as you could in the nighttime. So they're looking at the ships, and I'm looking up, and I don't see anything. And then I see it. My eyes is open. My spiritual eyes open to see these things, and these are physical orbs. And then after I saw it, I said, "Man, I gotta see no more." So we lined up. I said, "Look, I don't gotta see no more. I don't need no faith building. My faith is already built up." But this right here, for you men and women that are getting weak in the faith, Most High showing you these signs, man. It says, Zechariah, and what I might do is I might just mention, boy, I got a whole bunch of scriptures. I easily got 25 scriptures. Oh, including the ones in Maccabees. I might read that too. 2 Maccabees 5:1. Anyway, it says Zechariah 5:1. Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked and behold a flying roll, which is a ship, a chariot. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits, which was not a big. Now the description of this description kind of looks like a tic tac, and there's one sighting of a UFO that they call the tic tac, and it looks like a tic tac. So this one had the dimensions of a tic tac. The length was 2 2 times the size of the breadth. It says, 3rd verse, then said he unto me, this is the curse, this is the curse, this is a curse for Esau and a blessing for the elect of Israel. This is even a curse to 2/3 of Israel, because when the Lord and the angels come to invade this place, they're coming to do 2 things. They're coming to deliver the elect, and the whole world's going to see it. Simultaneously, the ICBMs will be hurtling towards Babylon the Great. The Lord said, my sword shall be bathed in heaven and shall come down upon Idumea. And Idumea is Babylon the Great. That's another name, the land of Edom. The new Edom is right here in Babylon, Babylon the Great. You even have certain Christian prophetic experts and scholars that have written books on Babylon being America. You even have these scholars, Edomite Christian scholars, that they know that these UFOs or UAPs are the angels, and they write books and they do. You got a lot of Edomites that teach this pretty much the same way that we teach, and one reason why is because they knew it beforehand, but the confirmation is. And when you go back to the 60-minute news magazine, and like I said, that page that I pulled up, I believe the first or the second thumbnail is the actual piece, which I believe is 13 minutes, and they go in and they're saying, we don't know if it's Russian intelligence or Chinese intelligence or aliens. They're not going to say that. They never said angels, but that's exactly who they are. Those are the angels, man. Those are the angels showing you what they get. They giving you a little piece of themselves, the Lord and the angels, before the big show, so to speak, the big drama show, as Triple G used to always say. And that's a major sign for us. Let me read a little bit more. It says, Then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth for everyone that stealeth. And Esau being in his power seat, how did he get things that he possesses? He stole it. Everybody knows that. Everything that Esau got outside of Mount Seir, the Mount Seir or Petra, that was your land. As soon as you stepped out of Mount Seir and you conquered other places, that's death right there, man. And the whole world knows this. See, you devils got a lot to pay for. There's a lot of talk on, slavery, the transatlantic slave trade, chattel slavery. See, if you read the scriptures, the scriptures clearly tell you, he that leaveth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Payback is a bitch. And when the Lord come back with the angels, you're gonna be devastated. You're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna get fucked up forever. And then you're going into captivity. I have to use this famous guy that used to call the school. You're going to be running and you're going to be hiding, and oh, you are going to be a sweating. Anyway, that's an inside joke. Anyway, it says, actually that was the Edomite that called the school that we had in Connecticut, because we used to get a lot of, we used to give out them flyers, and we used to get a lot of calls of people calling in talking shit. Anyway, it says, then said he unto me, this is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth, for everyone that stealeth, which is Esau, shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth, because you're not supposed to swear. So how can this be a God-fearing country or society if they make the president swear in? When you go to court, they make you swear in, and you devils are going to be destroyed just for that one thing, man. If the Most High exempt you for everything else, he gonna fuck you up just for making people swear. That's in what is that? Matthew 5, and I believe it's the 34th verse, and also James 5 and 12. You can look it up. I'm not going to, read it. It says, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it. I will bring it forth. What will be brought forth? These chariots. That's why these Edomites, that's why the military, mainly the Air Force, they're taking notice. Now they're saying, look, there's so many sightings that you can't hide them no more. 4th verse. I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. Who's the house of the thief? The so-called white man, which are Edomites. And into the house of him that sweareth falsely, that's Esau, by my name, because they know the name of the Lord. And it shall come, but they don't want the children of Israel to know the name of the Lord. That's why you got clowns like Nate the Snake talking about Jesus the Christ. At one time he was saying Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua. He did the video on it with Bun Yum Yum. We talking over about 25 years ago. The Most High's name is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahweh Shai. So something happened, man, where he doesn't allow his church to. That's basically a Christian church that know that they're Israelites. Ain't no different than the Seventh-day Adventists. The Seventh-day Adventists, the reason why they call themselves that is because they believe Saturday is the Sabbath, which they're going off on that. Sabbath is based upon the new moon. It said, and it shall remain in the midst of his house. That's why there's so many UFO sightings, and now they're just opening it up. They're saying, you know what, just go ahead, whatever you see, report it. And shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. 5th verse. Then the angel that talked with me went forth and said unto me, lift up now thine eyes and see what is this that goeth forth. Bear with me for a minute. This is Zechariah 9. I'll start at 11. Now it says in the heading, it says deliverance of Judah and Ephraim. Judah and Ephraim, the two kingdoms, the kingdom of Judah and the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, there was a split. And this happened before the Assyrians had taken down the kingdom of Israel, the northern kingdom, and then the Babylonians took down the kingdom of Judah, or Yahweh. So it says here, deliverance of Judah and Ephraim. So where's the record of Judah and Ephraim, the two kingdoms coming back together? There's no record. They're coming back together now. It says Zechariah 9 verse 11, and it reads, I had to steal that from our elder Malcolm. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, scriptures speak about two covenants, both the old covenant was for Israel, the new covenant is for Israel. And by the way, we're not in the new covenant. The new covenant is when we're completely changed. Because none of you out there can keep the laws perfectly. You keep the laws to the best of your ability. I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn you, because just like we're living in a pit, and water represents the knowledge. So now when we go out there and we teach, is we're giving you water, we're giving you nourishment, we're giving you food, spiritual food. 12 verse, turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Those are the Israelites. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. When I have bent Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim. That's the two kingdoms coming back. That's why certain camps, like out there in the west, you got the LA camp, you got the various camps out there, that there's as many of the so-called Latin tribes as there is of the kingdom of Judah. And the same goes with other camps. In Chicago, you got a lot of Issacharites and I would say Ephraimites. That's in the Chicago GMS camp. It says, when I have bent Judah for me, fill the bow with Ephraim, and raise up thy sons, O Zion, and thy sons, O Yeshaya, and Gazak, high priest of Zion, high priest Gazak. You say the daughters of Zion or the sons of Zion. It's talking about Judah. No, Zion is talking about the whole nation. Against thy sons, O Greece, which are Edomites, and made thee as the sword of a mighty man. The Most High gonna make us mighty. And the Lord, 14 verse, Zechariah 9 verse 14, and Yahweh shall be seen over them. Now we just read that in Zechariah 5. And his arrow shall go forth as the lightning, and the Lord, those are the missiles. Isaiah 34, my sword shall be bathed in heaven, and shall come down upon Idumea. This is why Edomites never go into Idumea. They stay away from the subject of Edom, because the top scholars know that they're Edomites. They know the ruling class right now are Edomites. Esau is the end of the world, Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. And the Lord power shall blow the trumpet, and shall go with whirlwinds of the south. The Lord of hosts shall defend them, and they shall devour and subdue with sling stones, and they shall drink, and they make a noise as to wine, and they shall be filled like bowls, or bowls, and as the corners of the altar. And the Lord their power shall save them. And the Lord thy power shall save them. Save who? Israelites. Zion. In that day, and that's only referring to the elect, as the flock of his people. For they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. And in other words, we're going to be beamed up into the ship. And it's one ship, which is Yahweh ship. That's in Revelation 11 chapter. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young man cheerful, because we're going to be in the kingdom. Do you know how many things you can make from corn? And new wine, the maids. Anyway, with that, well, you know what I'm going to do? Let me just throw out some precepts right here. Revelation, the 10th chapter. You can really read the whole chapter. It's a short chapter, but John encountered that little book from an angel and a gigantic, what the white man would call a UFO, so-called white man. 2 Kings 2, verses 9 to 12. You can read on down. That's talking about during the time period of Elisha and Elijah, how Elijah was taken up into the chariot of fire. So did Elijah ever die? No. Elijah, what happened with Elijah was he was beamed up into the ship, and his body was changed, pursuant to 2 Corinthians, the 15th chapter, around about the 50th verse, 52nd verse. It said, we shall be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. So when we, the hopeful elect, I say that humbly, get beamed up, our bodies are going to transform into a superhuman, extraterrestrial, angelic body. So that's what happened with Elijah. So did he die traditionally? No. He just transformed into that body that's eternal in the heavens. 2 Corinthians, what is that? 2 Corinthians, the 5th chapter. See, Christians don't know this. Zechariah 9, verse 12 on down, start from 11, I read that. Isaiah 66, verse 15, Isaiah 31, verse 5. 2 Thessalonians 1, verse 6 to 11. Daniel 7, verse 9. Psalms 104, verse 3 and 4. Psalm 68, verse 13, and jump to 17. Now, in Psalm 68, it takes you back to Deuteronomy. Let me see if that's on the list. I can't believe that's not on the list. That's a major one. When Moses received the commandments from his right side, the angel, the Lord, gave him the commandments by way of laser technology. On the stones were written perfectly. Ezekiel 1, you can read pretty much the whole chapter, and that describes the ships. Now there's a movie that came out, I remember, as a young man, actually a child. It came out in 1970, if I'm not mistaken. Called Chariots of the Gods. And I remember sitting down and watching the whole movie as a child. I was intrigued by it. And they mentioned in the movie Ezekiel, the 1st chapter. And these are Edomites. Or they also talk about the Ark of the Covenant. And they said some college students they went by the specification of the scriptures of the ark, and they built the ark, and there was electric magnetic powers coming from the ark, and they had to take it apart. Psalm 91, that's another good one, the whole chapter. Matthew 24, Isaiah 60, verse 8. 2 Maccabees 5, verse 1. Anyway, in closing, I'm going to say that Esau, enjoy yourself in the last few seconds of your kingdom, because the Lord is coming back, and he ain't playing. Or did I mention Daniel 7, verse 9? Yes, I did. And that's the Lord himself, the Ancient of Days, coming back in a gigantic chariot. And it says the Son of Man came unto him. The Son of Man represents the Lord, our Lord coming to the Lord. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom.